This is Drop Tent Media Network.
Hey, hold right there. Don't dare skip this. This is an important message. Me and my boy Albert Davis, we want to tell you about our podcast, Seriously Dad. Albert, why should they listen?
Because it's the best podcast in the world. It's by two comedians who are dads. And you know what we're talking about? Being dads. It's called Seriously Dad. Check us out on social media at Seriously Dad Podcast. And
anywhere you get your podcast, that's where we're at. We're funny. We got some great guests coming our way. We cover the topics you want to hear. Check us out.
The old saying goes, if you don't work, you don't eat. Well, there's a new saying for the new generation. You either grind or starve. Established in 2015, Grind or Starve Apparel has become the premier fashion brand for today's hustlers, entrepreneurs, and CEOs in the making. The online store provides groundbreaking styles and innovative designs for today's go-getters, proving that you can grind and look good at the same time. Grind or Starve has several collections to choose from. The new GOS Luxury, Designer, Location Apparel, rep your city to the fullest, Fitness, Barber Edition, Stylist Edition, and Baker's Edition. Go to gosapparel.com the next time you need a hoodie, polo, G-shirts, bags, all made with the best quality materials. Grind or Starve. The choice is yours. Go to gosapparel.com. High IQ basketball with Brian Isley and Raymond Byrd. What's going on, bro?
I'm gonna go for like a quadruple double.
And welcome to episode 8 of High IQ Basketball with Brian Isley and Raymond Byrd. I am, of course, Brian Isley. Raymond Byrd couldn't make it today. He called out, so he automatically loses the next episode. That guy, man. We ain't even 10 episodes in and he calling out. You know we gonna roast him. We got to, Neil. We got to. I got super producer Neil with me, and we have a special guest. I met this gentleman on when I was doing shows for NBA Panel a few years ago. We had a very good in-depth basketball conversation. He has a very high IQ. I like to welcome to the show our very first guest on High IQ Basketball, Sixers beat writer for the Philadelphia Inquirer, Mr. Keith Pompey. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. I see you got that hat on. I see you chilling.
Yeah. They got medals too. I got mine. Okay. I got my medal too. Okay. I got my medal. Go Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It counts for me. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't care what everybody else say. It counts for me. The inaugural in-season tournament, the Lakers went undefeated and won, beating the Pacers, pulling away at the end. This was the first in-season tournament. Commissioner Adam Silver has been of the mindset of making November and December games more meaningful and driving home that these games count as well as the other games in the 82-game season. How do you feel about the inaugural in-season tournament, and did it exceed your expectations?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question because it did exceed my expectations. You know, initially it was one of those things like, well, if the Sixers go to Vegas, I'll go to Vegas. You know what I mean? That was it, right?
Yeah,
that was the only excitement. And then you heard about the court. You're like, oh, I really don't want to see this.
Right.
But to be honest with you, the level of play in those games reminded me of playoff games. Like, God, they were getting at it, man. And it got to a point where certain teams got exposed. Other teams showed, like a team like the Pacers showed you that, yo, they could be for real. You know what I mean? So I really like the in-season tournament. Like, again, it was better than I expected. You know, it was one of those things I wish that the Sixers would have made it to the knockout round so I could try to cover that to see what that was like. But it was really exciting. It reminded me of playoff basketball, but better because it was like win or go home. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, it wasn't a series.
Yeah,
it was one game.
They were at it. Yeah, they were going at it. Yeah.
We were both at the Sixers game when the Pacers came into town for that in-season tournament game, and we saw the Sixers got knocked off, unfortunately, but we saw the emergence of Tyrese Haliburton.
Yeah.
What's your take on this guy? He was all-star last year, and it seems like he's just gotten that much better this year.
Like when he did this, and the one time, like it is his time now. Like seriously, I mean, you can argue, not even argue. Like from what he's doing right now, he could be. I think he's the best point guard in the league. Ooh. I mean, for this season, I mean, I'm for what he's doing, because if you think about the Pacers, like who else do they have besides him? I mean, like they got a couple players, but nobody that you can say that they can go out there and win and beat elite teams. But this is a guy that's giving you 27, 15 assists, and 0 turnovers. So, yes, you look at it and you say he can't be better than Kyrie. He can't be better than Luka. He can't be better than this and that. But whenever he goes out there and play, he's like getting video game type numbers to where you're saying to yourself, well, maybe he is a little bit better than right now. I'm not saying that I'm saying for right now at the start of the season, in my opinion, his point guard play is better than anybody else in the NBA.
Right. And he did have back-to-back games once they got to Vegas of high number of assists, 14, 15 assists and 0 turnovers. And then he ran into my Lakers and we shut all that down. I think it was 2 games where if people were paying attention, the Lakers laid out the blueprint defensively for the New Orleans Pelicans and for the Indiana Pacers. They completely took Zion away, making him obsolete, daring him to shoot. They were sagging back past the free throw line, daring Zion Williamson to shoot. And with Haliburton, every time he passed half court or they tried to do the DHO or pick and roll at the top, they blew it up and trapped it and forced the ball out of his hands. And he had like 3 or 4 turnovers last night.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the Lakers. Now, the thing that the Haliburton thing, they did a really good job. I think that Darvin Ham, we look at him and you say, okay, here's another dude that got LeBron on the team. Like LeBron going to be he's going to be coaching.
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean? A lot of people felt that, but we saw how in the postseason, Milwaukee, we saw how Milwaukee lost in the first round because they weren't being able to make any adjustments, right? You know what I mean? So I feel like Darvin Ham is a coach that doesn't get the respect that he deserves. Now, the one thing that was really surprising to me was, like, when I look at Zion, when I see him as far as being motivated and going after, there's nobody in the league you feel like who can stop him. And for them to turn him into a jump shooter and do all that other stuff, I was like, dang, that's some really good defensive game planning. And then also with Haliburton, it was some great game planning because, you look at it, they ain't supposed to do that to Zion. Like they don't. You got LeBron and all that, but that young boy, it's kind of like an old head going to the park and the young boy talking about, dog, you don't have it anymore. That was supposed to happen. It just was beast mode style. And the way that they did that, you got to give, of course, you're going to give LeBron credit, but you have to give the coaching staff credit because they came up with 2 defensive game plans in back-to-back games that helped them win.
2 very different defensive schemes as well, too. One perimeter oriented, one to shut down a power guy. And it was brilliant on their part. And I'm not saying that being biased, it's just real talk. They locked in defensively. Do you think the Lakers are the best defensive team in the league when locked in?
I don't know if they're the best defensive team when locked in. I think they're one of the better ones. I kind of think that, again, it's all about matchups, right? It's just all about who you go up against, like matchups. Like, you know what I mean? Like when they played you weren't here when they played the Sixers. Now, again, some of the guys were a little sick, but like you can't look at that and say that defense was working that night. You know
no, we got smoked by 40.
Yeah, they got smoked. So when you look at it, it's matchups. But, at the same time, like, I'm looking at what I saw, and the thing about Zion, it makes me a believer. I don't know if they're the best, but I'm gonna give the Lakers more credit than I did before that game. I'm just
okay. That's fair. That's very fair. Do you think Anthony Davis is the best defensive player in the league?
Nah.
No. No. Who's your guy for defensive player of the year so far this year in the league? I know it's super early, and it was kind of too early to ask that question.
Yeah,
but the performance that AD had last night, even though the game doesn't count statistically at all, 41 points, 20 rebounds. I believe he had 4 blocks, and the rotation, the way he anchored the defense last night against a team that has the fastest pace in the league, a team that shoots the ball better than most in the league, gets up and down the floor, young, spry legs. They completely shut them down and made them look like a different team than they look like in the in-season tournament. Does this performance propel them defensively?
See, the thing about AD is like, and I get it. You're asking a legitimate question in regards to, because you ask a legitimate question in regards to, him being second in the league in blocks behind Brook Lopez, right?
Yes.
So you got to give him his credit. However, I also think that it has a lot to do with matchups because, for him to be the best player in the league, he got to shut down Joel. And whenever they go up against Joel just be eating them alive. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, so Joel destroys everybody.
He destroyed, yeah, but there are certain guys like Valanciunas, guys like Al Horford, dudes like that who use like, they outsmart him. Like they put an elbow in his back. They move him off the spots. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Anthony just can't do that. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. To me, the guy who I think is a really good defensive player, and I might say, and I felt like he should have won Defensive Player of the Year last year. You probably you might not have me back on this show again after I say this. I'm serious, because he's not a sexy type of pick. Okay. But I like what Brook Lopez does. I do. And again,
that's not far fetched.
It's not far fetched.
You're allowed on the show again.
Oh, okay, but what I'm saying is like, you see AD, like AD is like a household. Now Brook Lopez is too, but Brook Lopez gets hitting behind, like he's the third best or fourth best dude on that squad, right?
Yeah.
He ain't like real talkative. He don't have commercial. He doesn't do that. But what I do see is I do see him giving teams fits on the defensive end, right? Mm-hmm. So for that, I do like AD. But I just think that Brook Lopez is better than him. Now, that's what I think. I just think that Brook is better than him.
That's not a bad choice at all. I thought you was gonna say James Harden or something. That's the end of the first quarter. But I got one more question for you. You brought up Brook Lopez. Doesn't it seem like the older he gets, the better he gets? Because we didn't see any of this from Brook Lopez when he was in Brooklyn.
Nah, you're right. It's kind of like he a little bit more seasoned. His game is a whole lot more cerebral. You know what I mean? Like he does certain things. And also, I think it also helps out when you don't have to be the guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you don't have to be the guy, you can just lock in and do certain things. Because if you notice, he's blocking shots. He's getting in great position on defense. And then offense, he's sagging out to the 3-point line.
Right.
And then just hitting threes all the time.
Yeah,
right?
And he didn't have that.
Nah, he didn't. But I do think that it's like when you go, like, let's face it, you got him playing the 5, you got Giannis playing the 4. All the attention is going to Giannis, at least on the offensive end. and then it's Giannis and Dame pick and roll. You got Chris Middleton out there, so it's easy for him to get lost. And what he does is, like you say, he didn't have it, but they probably told him, like, look, bro, you need to get in there and work on your three because you're going to get a lot of shots. And if you get a lot of shots, you're going to help us. And it just seems like he was a guy who worked on his game, and yeah, he got better.
It's a great first quarter. He's worried about if he's invited back on the show. He might replace Byrd. he might be mess around. Miss another day, Byrd. Miss another day.
Yeah, miss 2 more days, Byrd. I take your light work.
We're headed into quarter number 2. We have I think the league is in good hands. Talent wise is probably the best it's ever been or close to it. We have a young crop of superstars. So let's say if LeBron decides to hang it up in the next 2 or 3 years, Curry's up there in age at 35. KD is also 35. I think Kyrie is in his early 30s. Next few years down the line, say that this generation is done and over with. The league is in good hands. And one of those reasons is we mentioned him before, Tyrese Haliburton. He was an all-star last year, and he's gotten so much better this year. Could he be a candidate for most improved player?
Yeah, he can. I mean, even though he was an all-star, I do think that he can. Like, if he can, and it's funny because, we look at it, he was second in the league in assists last year, right? He was second in the league in assists. But I think he can get most improved because if you think about it, he has taken his game up a notch, but the team was so bad last year. Like,
right.
He only had one national TV game this year. So them being in this play-in tournament, they done trumped everything, right?
Yes.
So I think that with him, he's a guy that the nation is starting to take notice to. And what that becomes is that's when you start getting those accolades. And I do think that he could get it. Now, I will say this. There's another guy, if he continues to ascend, he may get it too. And that's just Tyrese Maxey. Just because, he's never been an all-star. He hasn't done this. He hasn't done that. And the fact that he's averaging 27 points a game, people could look at it like, well, what about him? But Haliburton.
Yeah. What's the ceiling for Tyrese?
Which one?
Haliburton.
You know what, man? I think, that's crazy to say because, I think that, I said, I think Luka, if you go year by year, over the last 3 years, you have to say that Luka, the last 3 is the best point guard, right?
Yes.
Honest, right? But I think Haliburton could be up in that category. I do. I think he can. I think that he could be a first-team All-NBA, a finalist for MVP type of thing. Now, the MVP thing has a lot to do with your team's success. As much as good as they are, I think they are like 5th or 6th in the standings. So he probably won't get it. But for the fact that he has been balling the way he has, I don't see why he couldn't be a first-team All-NBA guard this year. And to me, that's the ceiling. With him. And like the one thing about Haliburton, if you look at it, he wasn't a McDonald's All-American in high school. He was a 3-star guard, which is good, but he was a 3-star guard who went to college and blew up. So it's one of those things where he's one of those guys where I think that people are finally starting to take notice. He's the hot name now. And when it comes down to it, this voting and everything is extremely subjective. So that's why I believe that people are seeing him and people are going to vote for him. And I think he could be a first-team All-NBA guard.
I agree with everything you said. I except for the first team All NBA because Luka's been there 3 times already. He's he's a household name. He's one of the faces of the league now. So that's a pretty tall task. That's a pretty tall, steep mountain to climb. But he is putting up the numbers that say he is first team.
But you got to understand something. It's two guards. It don't decipher on
shooting guard and point guard. Yeah. I understand.
So that's why I said, like, I still think Luka will be there. But if you look at it, so who else would you put in there with him right now? Like who else? Like, who would be? Would it be Kyrie? Nah. Would it be Dame? Nah, not right now.
Not right now.
You know what I mean? Would it be
it'd be Maxey.
Yeah, would it be Maxey? I mean, would it be Maxey? Like, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, would it be like right now, the guards who are really balling are like you know, what's the would it be Shai Gilgeous? Like, you know,
yeah, SGA, right.
Like, would it be
Book,
huh?
Booker?
Yeah, would it be Book? Like, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. So again, like
Curry,
you know what I mean? So like if Curry get it, you see, okay, we're gonna give it to him. But yeah, I'm just saying, you're right. If I'm pointing out and I'm saying to myself, like, this guy, if you gotta choose him and Luka, people are gonna go with Luka.
Facts.
If you gotta go with, you just pick a guard, like any guard. And nowadays, let's keep it real. Now they don't even care. Now it's like the best 5 players, right?
Yeah.
So be that. So that's why I'm saying, like, he could possibly make it. Now, who knows? He may get second because it does become a popularity contest. But what I'm saying is, what he has on his side is people are watching him now.
Yeah.
And people are becoming enamored. And when you look at that team, they really don't have the horses like everybody else. Now, they do get up and down. They do play. They do have nice pieces. But when you say to yourself, like, you got LeBron and, you know, you got LeBron and AD.
Mm-hmm.
You got Devin Booker and KD.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? It's like that his best co-star is the center who is a shot blocker but couldn't block any shots against the Lakers.
And got exposed last night.
He
got exposed, fouled out, and left. Didn't even stay on the bench. He went to the locker room after he fouled out.
Yeah, that was
a bad look.
Yeah, it was a bad. He got embarrassed. Like, I mean, because he was supposed to step up. Turner was supposed to be the man, and like AD was like killing him. So when I look at that, I don't want to be ill, but dude don't really have a co-star. Like Buddy Hield was supposed to be the man. He hasn't been. You know what I mean? So don't worry, they got some nice young talent. They got nice
pieces.
But man, like, it's him and a bunch of dudes. Right.
That's true. As leads me into my next question, you say is Haliburton and essentially a bunch of guys. So with that being said, it has to be a great deal of remarkable coaching to get them to this point. So what's your take on Rick Carlisle's job? You know, he had the job in Dallas. He left, he resigned, then he came over to Indiana. And so how do you grade him so far?
I think he did I think he's doing a phenomenal job. I mean, you know, you think about it, like, essentially they were tanking last year.
Yeah.
And they basically have the same guys, right? And then all of a sudden they change the style of play. They get after you. They're going up and down. They're playing a lot of different players.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they show up in the money games. I mean, like, again, right now they're 5th in the East, or I believe they're 6th in the East. But at the same time, whenever it's time to turn stuff on, they come out and play. And the one thing that really impressed me about them was when they played the Sixers in that 2 game. Like, the first game they played the Sixers, just a regular season game. The second game where they played them was an in-season tournament game.
Yep.
They, like, came out with a whole different game plan.
Yeah.
And got after the Sixers.
We saw it firsthand.
Yeah, you saw it firsthand. You know, we saw everything. So, to me, you look at it, and I'm saying to myself about Rick Carlisle, I'm saying, like, yo, this guy is supposed to be, like, done. And yet and still, he's out here, you know, got these guys believing and got them balling. So you have to commend him for the coaching job that he's doing. You have to.
Agreed. And that is halftime. We will be right back after a word from our sponsors.
This is halftime, and halftime is sponsored by If You Know, You Know Trivia Games. This is a trivia game created by a great friend of mine and friend to the show, Saquon Gillette. If You Know, You Know is a 90s to 2020s hip-hop and R&B trivia game. Is created by Saquon Gillette. As I said, it's Star Corner Production, Star Corner Games, and it's the game you never knew you needed. Guaranteed to have you singing, dancing, laughing, and reminiscing. You'll probably learn something too in the most fun way ever. It's for ages 13 and up, because you know with hip-hop we have explicit lyrics. But yeah, if you know, you know. Trivia game, get it on Amazon and wherever games are sold. That is our halftime sponsor.
Shout out. And we are back. This is High IQ Basketball with Brian Isley and Keith Pompey today. Not Raymond Byrd. Raymond Byrd doesn't want to work. I got to get him, man. I got to get him. If it was me, he'd be doing the same thing. It'd be worse if I called out. It'd be definitely worse. We're heading into the third quarter. 25% of the season is now complete. I think teams are starting to show us who they are, to an extent, essentially showing us their makeup and what they're about. Who is your MVP so far, and who is your rookie of the year so far, and why?
All right, and first I will say, and I know this, and I hate giving them props all the time because I cover them. You know what I mean? And I don't want people to think that I'm being a straight homer, right? But I think that right now, I'm giving it to Embiid right now, right? At this particular time, and if it wasn't Embiid, I would have to give it to LeBron, right? Because I feel like at the age of 38, 39, he's doing stuff that we haven't seen before. And I know, like you'll say, these in-season tournament stuff shouldn't count, right? But the fact that what he did and leading them there, to me, speaks volumes, right? But and the reason why I'm giving it to Embiid, and again, for Embiid to get it, I believe that the Sixers got to move up from number 4 to like within the top 2, right? Okay. Just because he has to show them that. But when you look at it, Embiid is averaging 33.3 points, right? He's averaging 11.5 rebounds. That's crazy. And then the kicker is he's averaging a career best 6.4 assists, right? And his 1.9 blocks is what the second most that he's averaged on during his career. So to me, you look at him and you see how they are when he plays, and then you see how they lose when he doesn't play. And then they needed 50 points against the Washington Wizards on Wednesday to win that game. When you add all that up, to me, it's like Embiid is playing better than he did last year. He's showing people that, hey, I can pass the ball, but yet and still, they're a completely different team without him. So right now, I'm looking at it like, he's the front runner. But outside of that, and again, I get it. The Lakers are kind of sort of like the Indiana Pacers when they're a top team in the West. They're just not one of the top 3 teams. But at the same time, the stuff that LeBron is doing, man, and you could give it to him every year. But I think the fact that he led them to this end-season tournament championship and how he was just beasting people, I think you got to give it to him if Embiid doesn't get it. And that's that. Now, when we talk about rookie of the year, Victor Wembanyama is like the pick that everybody's talking about, right? He's averaging 19 points. He's averaging 10 rebounds, right?
Yeah.
A 2.6 assists, getting blocks. But the dude Chet Holmgren, to me, is doing it on a better team, and he's doing it in meaningful games,
I
right?
agree.
Like when they played the Sixers, he played well. Now again, he can't guard Embiid, nobody can. But at the same time, I feel like when you on a team that only won 3 games and you getting a double-double, that's like Michael Carter Williams. I'm sorry. Like, it's easy to get those, right? It's easy to get those
Wow.
numbers. I mean, no, I don't mean to kill them, but like it's easy. Like typically the guys who get rookie of the year and stuff like that, they get more shot attempts and more things than anybody else because they playing on a struggling team, a rookie. They
Agreed.
just
Yeah.
roll out and do it. But when you are on a team that's one of the best in the West and you still putting up numbers and you still balling out, like to me, I have to give it to Chet Holmgren right now. He's been playing well. Now you can argue that he had a whole year to rehab and do all this other stuff, but to me, he is the best rookie right now in the NBA.
Yeah, and to piggyback off your point, he is doing that on a good team, meaningful games, and add to the fact that SGA was a 30 points per game scorer, and Chet is still finding his way to make an impact for that team, even with somebody with such a high usage rate in SGA.
Yep. I mean, the dude is balling, man. He's balling. He's balling. As skinny as I don't know what. 17.1 points, 7.8 rebounds, 2.5 assists. You know what I mean? He's what the dude? He's 7'1". He's shooting 38% from 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's balling. He's balling.
Yeah. I felt bad for him when he got hurt in that game last year that I think featured LeBron James. And Chet got hurt, and something was wrong with the floor, and they didn't even finish the game. I believe they didn't finish that game. Bron just walked off, but and he missed his what would have been his rookie year. But a lot of people say, red shirt rookies, they shouldn't win rookie of the year. I disagree because there's nothing like actual in-game experience. Yes, you could get the treatment. Yes, you could get the workouts. You could be in the team meetings. You could watch the film sessions. But I believe there's nothing like court experience.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing like it. And it's one of those things. Like, and what does it mean? Like, what is it? Like, it's just like saying you're right, a red shirt freshman. You still a freshman because you didn't play. You didn't play. Like we say, oh, this is his first win. And they might as well just do newcomer of the year award or something like that. You know what I mean? Because it's weird. And then here's the deal: like even some of these dudes nowadays, they played professionally overseas, or they played. You know what I mean? They just in the G League, what have you. So they come up. Well, they're not technically they're a rookie in the league, but they're not a rookie in regards to a pro. So you can argue that until the cows come out. But at the same time, it's one of those things where, the boy, he didn't play last year.
Yeah,
this is his first games. Let him get his shine. He's balling. He's playing well.
Right. I agree. He's definitely playing well. Man, he's got great timing too. Answers questions that it doesn't run the light, doesn't go over time or anything. Hey, Keith, man, you want to be a full-time co-host, bro?
Yeah. Let's do this.
We're headed into the fourth quarter, and of course, this is he's an expert in the entire game. That's why he's on the High IQ show, but. The Sixers, with their situation, the circumstances surrounding James Harden finally getting traded to the Clippers. Nick Nurse is first-year coach with the Sixers. How impressed are you with how Embiid, Maxey, Harris, Oubre before his unfortunate accident. How impressed are you with this Sixers team?
I'm extremely impressed. I mean, when you think about it, like you said, the Harden situation, they went through a lot, right? And I think they were able to stay focused to make it seem like they weren't going through anything. I felt like before Kelly Oubre became injured, the Sixers were the most exciting team in the NBA, right? I mean, you look at it, they were deep, they were getting after it. They brought in new pieces. It took a couple of them a while to get adjusted, but besides that, they were still rolling. So yes, I was extremely impressed by them. Right now I feel like they had the injuries, guys, or they have more problems now. Like the defense isn't playing as well as it used to be. It seems like they went away a little bit from that free flowing offense to where there's a lot of two-man game, which is good. But at the same time, I feel like they got to get a little bit more guys involved. But right now, I have to tell you, like, I feel like when they're all healthy and everything is okay, I think that they're going to be, tough to beat in the regular season.
Joel Embiid is your top MVP candidate. Tyrese Maxey is a top candidate for you for most improved. Tobias Harris is a very great third option. Kelly Oubre has emerged playing. He was playing lights out. Do the Sixers need to make a move before the trade deadline?
You know what? It depends. I think they can do a move before the trade deadline, but I don't think they need to do a move. Like, as long as if right now it's going to be crucial, right? And we're seeing, if you watch the Sixers, you see different guys playing on different nights because what they're trying to do is they're trying to figure out what they had. But if they find out they got the right pieces coming off the bench that they can rely on, and if Tyrese Maxey continues to ascend, I don't think they have to make a move, right? But if they do make a move, I think you're looking for someone who can be a consistent shooter who can knock down shots, or someone who could an additional guy who could bring the defense and everything. Because I feel like making a move just to make a move doesn't always work out. Because you're going to bring, especially if that person is someone that you need to depend on, you think you're going to depend on to provide a lot of offense. I think it could get a little clunky there. So right now, I feel like if Marcus Morris can continue to play the way he's been playing recently, if Robert Covington can play well, if Nicholas Batum can play well, and a couple other guys, and guys like that, Paul Reed, I feel like you're cool, you're set. But I wouldn't go out there and get, if Maxey continues to play the way he is, I'm not going out there and getting Zach LaVine. Nah,
that was going to be my next question. Yeah,
I think that could mess up the chemistry because there's nothing against Zach LaVine, but there are certain guys who are used to being the man, right? So you get Zach LaVine, since he's been in Chicago, he's been that guy, like he's been that dude. So you go ahead, you go bring him here. And then all of a sudden, he's so used to having the ball in his hands. If he doesn't have the ball in his hands, he's going to be unhappy, right? He can say what he wants, but at the most part, if he has the ball in the hand, then that's taken away from Maxey. That's taken away from Embiid. This and that. Like, in order for them to win, I mean, right now we look at that two-man game. It has to be on the top of the game. What they need some guys who can be some role players, some more role players, if that's what you want. I don't think that I will go out and get him now like an Alex Caruso type guy. I like that, right? Like OG Oblanobi. If I butchered your last name, OG, I'm sorry, because I always do. But if you go out and get a guy like that,
he got the easiest first name and one of the hardest last names.
I know. That's why I said OG. But if you look at him, he can help you, right? But then again, you look at it and you say, all right, he's probably going to come off the books next year. We're going to have some other stuff. If Nico Batum, and Cove and them continue to play the way they do we want to get rid of some of our depth to get a guy who could become a free agent next year? You understand what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that they got to be careful about. A lot.
What's the best case scenario for these guys? As is, with no moves.
As if with no moves, I don't know if they can beat Milwaukee and Boston. Maybe Milwaukee in the 7, but I don't know if they could beat Boston in the 7-game series. So best case scenario might be getting the Eastern Conference Finals. Best case scenario. But again, it has to depend on a lot of guys, elevating their game and their play. Now, should they made it last year? Yeah. But I just feel like they'll have a tough time against the Celtics in a 7-game series.
Right at the buzzer. Right at the buzzer. All net, man. Listen, Keith, I appreciate you coming through high IQ basketball. Thank you so much for your time. And I look forward to having you on the show again later on in the season, man. This was a great interview, man. It was a great conversation.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I really did. Thanks.
Yeah, man. Yeah, stay up. Looking forward to your write-ups on the Sixers, and we'll talk soon.
All right, and I hope your Lakers continue to have a great season.
Oh, they will. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you.
All right.
All right. Take care.
All right, peace.
That was Keith Pompey from the Philadelphia Inquirer, Sixers beat writer. Hell of a conversation we just had regarding in-season tournament and Tyrese Haliburton and the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm going to get into a quick OT, and it's not really off topic. It's going to be on topic because I'm going to talk about my Lakers for a second. The Lakers, we won the in-season tournament, the first ever in-season tournament. I see the trolls on social media saying that this doesn't count, saying that no one cares, saying that it doesn't matter, saying that the NBA is rigged, saying that Adam Silver is LeBron's daddy and he just gave him the in-season tournament so he can win it. I need all y'all to kiss my ass. All y'all could go to hell. The Lakers won the in-season tournament and you're mad. The only reason you say that the in-season tournament doesn't count is because LeBron and the Lakers won. Had any other team won, it would have mattered. Had Bron got to the finals and lost, my DMs would be exploding. my phone would be blowing up. You guys kill me with this. Every single time LeBron wins something or the Lakers win something, you guys move the goalposts and you make the task more difficult. You make it impossible. Like the guy can't win. He literally won the MVP of the entire tournament. He dominated the entire tournament. The Lakers went 7-0, and you can't say it doesn't matter because that $500K made it matter. These cats were going hard. You just heard Keith Pompey say the level of intensity in these games were at another level. It was playoff intensity. It was playoff like. These games matter. The guys on the end of the bench for the Lakers, their lives was just changed last night. They got a $500,000 payday. They were going hard. LeBron went hard. AD went hard. The Pacers went hard. The Pacers went undefeated in pool play and in the knockout rounds until they met the Lakers. These teams were going after it. You guys complain about November and December, saying all basketball doesn't matter until April, May, and June. Well, Adam Silver gave a reason for you to watch. He made these games matter. And you punk ass, y'all still complaining. Y'all still whining. Y'all still bitching and moaning. And the league is progressing and the league is getting better. And y'all, we can't make you happy. So here's my suggestion. just stop watching. If every time the league tries to make an improvement on a game and you have a complaint about it, you don't want the league to win. You claim you love basketball so much. You claim you love the game. You swear you want to see meaningful games throughout the entire season, and you get it, and you still whine and complain because you don't like LeBron James. Period. That's the end all be all of it. You don't like LeBron James. So if the Pacers won, you would have been cool with it. The Celtics won, you would have been cool with it. If the Pelicans and Zion and B.I. and them won, you would have been cool with it. Especially if they beat LeBron and the Lakers to do it. You guys would have been fine with it. So you trolls can go back to whatever rock you were hiding under. You guys can miss me with all that negative stuff. Y'all complain. Y'all say y'all don't care. Neil, have you ever commented on anything that you didn't care about?
No, that's insane.
And why? Why is that?
Because it's counterintuitive to the very intention of it.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
Translation: he doesn't care.
Right.
So why would you talk about something that? Why would you waste energy on something that you don't care about? You guys care. You're just mad that LeBron James won. The Lakers won. We are the in-season tournament champions. They got their medals last night. I got my medal too. Go Lakers. Y'all mad? Stay mad. Put a cape on so you can be super mad. And I'm out.
The old saying goes, if you don't work, you don't eat. Well, there's a new saying for the new generation. You either grind or starve. Established in 2015, Grind the Starve Apparel has become the premier fashion brand for today's hustlers, entrepreneurs, and CEOs in the making. The online store provides groundbreaking styles and innovative designs for today's go-getters, proving that you can grind and look good at the same time. Grind the Starve has several collections to choose from. The new GOS Luxury, Designer, Location Apparel, rep your city to the fullest, Fitness, Barber Edition, Stylist Edition, and Baker's Edition. Go to gosapparel.com the next time you need a hoodie, polo, G-shirts, bags, all made with the best quality materials. Grind or Starve. The choice is yours. Go to gosapparel.com.
Hey everybody, how you doing? This is comedian Neil Wood and
Adam Nutter.
We can't do it like that. You have to sound like a human being. This cut, that's insane. Because I'm realizing how little you're talking.
Adam Nutter.
I could just take, if you just want me to, honestly, you know what we need to do is you just need to get that clean.
Adam Nutter.
And then I'll just pop it in wherever I need to, bud.
Adam Nutter. Let's do that.
Come listen to the Cult of Us podcast. That's our promo.
Adam Nutter.
A Drop Tent Media Network podcast. Go to droptent.com or search Cult of Us podcast on your favorite podcast platform.
I'ma have to tie up my Nikes for this one. I'ma go for like a quadruple double. We playing a game to win, and greatness come from within. The only time you lose if you only never begin. Gotta be like the shoes and just do it. The clock is winding down, so now shoot it. If fortune favors the bold, that's why I keep on just winning. If timing is just the essence, then I'ma keep on just spending. I'm worth a couple of bucks, shout out to Antetokounmpo. Dropping in B-ball facts that's seeping into your glue buds. Advising like Tony Kukoc, we getting into it mucho. Directing all these plays like my name was Tony Russo. Ballin', that's how we do, so I'm going in for the win. Penetrate the lane like we way back in 2010. I'm stomping straight in my Timbs. The basics just like I'm Tim. I'm dunking on you haters. A poster is where you live. It's magic all in my wrist. Steph Curry, we going swish. It's showtime like the 80s. Basketball is where we live. I'm highly gifted and skilled. I'm going in for the kill. The game is on the line. Raymond Byrd, ayo, what's the deal? Pass it to Brian Isley. I bet he probably surprised me. High IQ basketball is just showing it's not a hobby. We playing the game to win, and greatness come from within. The only time you lose if you only never begin. Gotta be like the shoes and just do it. The clock is winding down, so now shoot it. We playing the game to win, and greatness come from within. The only time you lose if you only never begin. Gotta be like the shoes.
This has been a Drop Tent Media production.